Hello and welcome to the Gymnastics podcast. This week I'm going to be talking through my journey to catching a Cassina, a very, very difficult skill that I once thought would be physically impossible for me to do. Hello and thank you for tuning into this episode of the Game of Gymnastics podcast. This week I am going to be talking through my journey to catching a Cassina. This was a very, very difficult skill and realistically actually a shorter journey than I would have thought it would be. I ended up catching it under 2 months after I started learning it, like first ever attempts at it. So I'm very impressed with how quickly I caught it. It's a lot quicker than most skills I learn. I guess I'll start off with what a Cassina is. Essentially, it's a Kovacs with a full twist and in a straight position. So much, much harder than a standard Kovacs. And also I find it a lot harder than a Coleman as well, which is the same thing as a Kovacs, but with a full twist, but still in tuck shape. Now, this is hard to explain because the amount of rotations that you do is quite hard to explain. It's kind of like 1.5, but it's also kind of like 1.25, but it's also kind of like 2. It's hard. It's really hard to explain. If this explanation is not enough, on the audio specific one, at least, hopefully if you look over onto the YouTube video, you should be able to see what I'm talking about. So essentially, wind up, let go of the bar, a little bit in front of the bar, let go, you go over the top, you do a straight somersault. It's essentially 1.25 somersaults, but you're going over the top of the bar. So you start in essentially a handstand, you let go at, like just before a handstand, let go, you go over the top of the bar, feet go over, and then you end up catching the bar on the way down. But that is also with a full twist as well. Included. So by the time you're up on top of the bar, you've done about a quarter twist, and then you go down and do the rest of the 3/4 of the twists is normally how it's done. I mean, if you look at Cassina, who's the first person to ever do it, he pretty much does full in, back out, which is crazy. Like the fact that he twists so early, but then other people do it the other way around. They do wait, and then just do full twist right at the end. Most people do it continuously as they're doing the somersault, but it's different for different people. This felt impossible for me. I actually thought that this may be a completely impossible skill for me for a while because I didn't think I had the capabilities of throwing myself that high off the bar, getting the rotation and getting the twist round. I thought maybe the twist would be okay, but in terms of physically getting the height and getting the rotation, I thought it would be really tough because physically, I'm quite large. Like in terms of, compared to other gymnasts, I'm like 5'10", which is kind of the tallest you'll get. Like Christian Thomas was often seen as like being a really tall gymnast, and he was 5'10". And like when you see him on vault and floor and all that sort of stuff, you can really see how tall he actually was. But like also my build, I'm quite heavy as well. Like most gymnasts will be 60 to 70 kilograms. Like a lot of the Japanese and Chinese guys, I imagine, are even lighter than that, maybe. But I clock in at about 85 kilos. So I'm about 10, 15 kilograms heavier than pretty much everyone else in the GB squad. So this is why I thought this would be impossible for me. I just didn't think I was capable of this, but I know that I move the bar quite well in some skills, at least, like squat dislows, Adler elements, and then shoulder catch up as well. Like I can get the technique quite well. So some skills I can actually do, but some I really struggle with. Like for example, Kovacs and Coleman, they took me a very, very, very long time to get because I needed to find like a very specific technique that worked for me to be able to make sure that I got in the right place, like in the right sort of range to catch, which is very tight, I will say.
Hey guys, Winston here. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you are, please do leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you can. Also, if you want more gymnastic content from me, you can check out my Instagram at wpowell05 or my TikTok at winstonpowell5. Thank you, and let's get back to the episode.
But getting that technique took a very, very long time. with both Kovacs and Coleman. Another thing would be in the Coleman, it took me a very long time just to actually catch the bar. Like I was getting on it every single time, like both hands on every time, but I just couldn't seem to hold on for a couple months, I think. Like for about as long as I was learning Cassina, like before I caught the first one, I was putting both hands on the bar and just couldn't seem to catch. So that took a good long while to get as well. Just physically being able to hold myself on and then swing around the bar without like peeing off. But that also will have been a lot of technique as well, because if you over rotate, your entire body weight is just going straight down. So it just sort of rips you off the bar. If you're a little bit further away and you end up pretty much horizontally inclined, when you're trying to catch the bar, it'll be a lot more smooth and you won't have as much of a downforce when you're trying to catch. I tried it for the first time in a GB camp, as I said, 2 months ago, as of recording. This was, 2 months and a couple of days ago, as of recording. For a first try, it wasn't really bad at all. So I started by doing a straight Gaylord, which is the same. Well, it's a Cassina just with half twist less. So you just do the half twist over the bar, hands on the pad, and then you try and push yourself off. And they're actually really good. And like Lee Walls, the national coach, was saying that it looked really good. So I just decided to give it a go, try and do a Cassina. When I was first doing it, I was able to get the first hand on the pad pretty much every time. But I was really struggling to get the twist round. And that was the issue for the entire time. Like I thought maybe it was the rotation. And I think I didn't have quite as much rotation, quite as much height as I needed. But the twist was always the issue. The twist was always the thing holding it back. And stopping me from actively catching the bar. The height was pretty good. Always was. Rotation was maybe a little bit slow. Especially when I was first starting. But yeah, the twist was really hard. It's finding the right timing, like twisting early, but then not reaching the bar for the bar too soon, because if you reach for the bar too soon, it will slow the twist down and you won't be able to get the second hand on. And it's still kind of the case, like when I'm trying to catch now. If I'm completely honest, I caught the first two, like I caught the first one, then I caught one after, and then I put both hands on the go after that, and then I was like, okay, cool, that's enough for today. Had like a couple of days off after that, just unrelated to anything. Then came back, 3 days later, and then I just was nowhere near the bar, and I didn't really know why. And then same thing happened the day after that, and then today, which is the day of recording it, which is like 6 days down the line, I finally actually put it close to the bar again, and like actually got the second hand on. Didn't catch any today, but I mean, I'm not overly fussed. But yeah, like it was really weird because like it was just up and down, and I didn't really understand why. And it's quite easy to think, oh, I've caught the first one, don't have to worry about catching it ever again. It's definitely not like that. But yeah, the biggest thing was getting the twist around, seeing the bar, then grabbing it, and actually holding on. So seeing it all the way around, you should be able to in a Cassina, and likewise a Coleman. So I had a bit of a head start on that in doing it in a Coleman, but I have often struggled with that, so I do struggle with it still. It's getting, because when you're looking down at the bar, your head's down, and then it immediately needs to like follow a hand up as you're coming. So it has to like go from down to up very quickly. So I started that first time in squad. Then I think I had nearly 20 attempts at it at the squad. Then I got up to about 70 attempts back in the gym. So I did another 50 attempts back in the gym. And it was going all right. It was slowly but surely progressing. And I could talk about this start to finish, but realistically, it's literally just a case of slowly but surely it got better. At some point in those 50, I started taking the pad out. And then I got a bit scared, so I decided to, because I was going like really close every time. So I took the pad out, put the pad back in for every go again, just to get a feel for it, putting both hands on the pad. And then eventually I was getting to the point where I was getting really confident with it. And that was towards the end of the 70, the first 70, I should say. I've actually, well, by the time I've released this, I should have an Instagram post out where you can see, like, it's very, very short, short clips, but you can see also all the attempts I made, or almost all the attempts, because I didn't video a couple of them. And then after those 70, I dislocated my ankle, which is another episode that will be coming out soon, where I talk about what happened with that. Yeah, so that halted my progress like completely. Just didn't get on the bar after that. Doing Cassinas after that for a while. For a good few weeks. So that just halted the progress. Didn't get back on. It was pretty much one of the first things I did, because I was confident that when I was doing Cassina, if I didn't catch, I would land on my back in the pit. And the pit is supposedly a very safe place to land anyway. So I say supposedly for a good reason. Again, it will be explained in a future video. And then if I pung off, I should be on my back anyway as well. So it's very unlikely for me to actually land on my ankle. So that's why I sort of went for it so soon after I did the injury. But yeah, like immediately as I was getting back onto it, I was on it. Like I was getting close to the pad, close to the catch every single time. Like I think the first one I did post injury, like both hands were on the pad first try. And I was like, didn't know that was going to happen. But it felt really good coming back into it. Then I did another, I think it was like 30 something attempts. I think it was like 33-ish attempts at Cassina. Until finally on the post, it says 100, but I think it was about 105. On about my 105th attempt at Cassina, I caught it, which I should stress again, very, very quick. The fact that I've done over 100 attempts is insane how quick that was. And that just gives you a generic scope of how long it takes to learn these skills. Kovacs was 100% longer. Coleman was 100% longer. Like these skills take a very, very long time to learn. But this one was like really quick. But I know for a fact this is going to take a very, very long time to consolidate as well. But yeah, this is, I suppose you could call it more than a skill, because it sort of reminded me that in gymnastics, even if you don't think you're suited to something, you might be able to do it. Like I thought I didn't have the right body type for this. I was too heavy for this, but like that was even before I gave it a go though. As soon as I actually gave it a go, I was like, okay, this might actually be possible. And then I kept going. And like I did over 100 attempts and then finally got it. And those were 100 proper attempts where I was actually doing the full skill, not just preps, not just Coleman's, not just other skills, not just Gaylords, straight Gaylords. It's a weird name, I know. And actively trying to get both hands on the pad or bar each time. I should also say that I'm still using the pad. Like even when I say going for the catch or like with the pad out, it's still someone there with the pad in their hand, ready to push it in just in case, if it's good enough that they don't. But I will still have that for a very long time. Like I'm not going to be taking away that safety net anytime soon, and that's okay. I know that Joe Cameron-Jones, who's another gymnast who trains at my gym, who also does Cassina, will be having the pad in all the way up till maybe a couple of weeks before the competition where he's competing it, because there's no reason to put yourself in danger if it's not necessary. Yes, you got to feel not having the pad in, but if you need it, you need it, and there's no shame in that. I was talking to Dan Purvis about this actually on a different podcast episode, which you should definitely check out. This isn't the end of the journey, it's the start, because now I got to put it in a combination, put it in a routine. The only way to do that is to get it consistent. It's nowhere near there yet. it's nowhere near there. I'm going to have to do another 1,000 easily. And that's true with every single skill in gymnastics, which is why I love the sport so much. It's so much work. But when you finally get that catch, like you can see in the video, pure elation. And then when you put it in a combination for the first time, it's incredible. And when you put it in a routine for the first time, it's amazing. And then when you compete it and when all that hard work has paid off, it's the best feeling. There's no feeling like it at all, because all of that hard work has paid off. And you are the only person who knows how much work, how much effort has gone into that. But you can reap the rewards of it. If you're like me, you struggle with rips on your hands, seemingly at the worst possible times, like in a competition prep, for example. I'm proud to partner with Wad & Dunn, who have a solution for us gymnasts to help us train and protect our hands in the process. I especially recommend their rip guards for apparatus using grips or guards, whatever you want to call them, high bar, rings or A-bars, and their 3-step hand care kit to make sure your halluses are strong and rip resistant without making them soft. Use my code Powell at checkout or my link in the description for 10% off at checkout now. Back to the episode. I hope that this also serves as a reminder to you guys, whether you're gymnasts or anything else, that something that might at first seem impossible might not be. And even sometimes there are skills where even if you've given it a go and you're not quite there yet, give it time and it will get better. Like there are skills where I've felt like I'm nowhere near it, even if I've given it a go. Like stolder straight catch-up, for example, like Piatti and straight. I thought I was nowhere near that when I first tried it. I did it to the pad. I think it was like pretty much at my knees when I first tried it. I was nowhere near getting over the bar. I was nowhere near clearing it. But over time, you just keep doing it, keep doing the numbers of it. It just gets higher and higher and higher. And eventually you get over the bar. Eventually you can put it on the bar. And then hopefully I can then put it in combination, put it in a connection, and then connect something after it even. It's always just a matter of time. You can always do more than you think you can. And eventually, if you put the effort in, put the time in, you'll get there. There's no reason to limit yourself based on what's going on up in your head. Now, I don't know what this might be for you. I don't know what these skills or anything in life really might be that you think that you can't do for whatever reason. But realistically, it's you put the effort in, you're going to make it work. You're going to get to a point where you will make it work somehow. You'll find your way of doing it. Your way will be different from most other people's, if not everyone else's. Like my way of doing a Kovacs or Coleman or Cassina is different from most people's ways, because Cassina less so, but with most of my releases, I look like I go really, really early. Everyone thinks I'm going to be on the bar and then I'm perfect distance. Like it's different for everyone. Limiting yourself before you try doesn't help. I didn't think I could do it, but I kept an open mind, tried it, and I made it work. You can have the doubts. I'm not saying don't have the doubts, because that's impossible to just get rid of. You can't just stop yourself from worrying about it, stop yourself from stressing about it. Like it's going to be there. If you just keep an open mind, try it anyway, it might just work. That's all I have for today. It's a little bit of a shorter episode, but I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, reviews, whatever else. What's your version of a Cassina? What's your version of a thing that you think you can't do, the thing that you think was completely out of your reach before you even tried it? And then eventually you kept working at it, kept going at it, and eventually you got it. Stay tuned. If you did enjoy this episode of the Gymnastics podcast, do give it a follow, give it a subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one, which should be the history of women's artistic gymnastics. I did men's quite recently, and I think, I quite enjoyed recording it. So I've made a presentation for the women's side and a few notes because I'm a little bit less confident with it. That'll be the next episode. I hope you enjoy, and peace.